Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Auntie HR Circle webinar. My name is Janni Palin, and I work as a sales director here at Auntie. I'm delighted to have you all joining us across the Europe. Today, we are talking about an important topic. We'll look at what it really takes to future-proof the workforce. Specifically, the mental skills leaders and employees need to perform sustainably, stay resilient, and navigate constant change. This topic is about human capability and sustainable performance. And it's something we here at Auntie support across 500 organizations and over 8,000 users each year. We're honored to have Elina Hiltunen with us today, recognized by the Forbes as one of the world's top 50 female futurists. Elina will share her insights on skills organizations and leaders will need in 2026 and beyond, and how we can all prepare for the rapid changing future of work. If you have any questions, please include them into the Q&A section. We will answer some of them at the end of the webinar. We will also record the webinar, and you all will get it before this. But before I'll let Elina speak, I would like to say something on behalf of Auntie. When we talk about future proofing, we usually think about technology, strategy, or even structures. But increasingly, the strongest prediction of organizational success is something more humane. Whether your people have the mental skills to stay resilient and perform sustainably in this continuous changes that we have in our workforce or work life currently. According to the Future of Jobs report 2025, around 39% of core skills are expected to change by 2030. Among these skills are highlighted like resilience, flexibility, agility, leadership and social influence, and self-awareness as well. And these are ranked as rising in importance. But what this actually tells us is that it's no longer enough to hire for roles or rely on fixed competencies. Organizations need to build the mental skills of their people, especially leaders, so that they can navigate constant change, sustain performance, and prevent burning out. So what are the skills then? These are the core mental skills that enable teams to thrive. Your leaders are the key here. In today's work life, where change is constant, expectations are high, and cognitive load is intense, self-leadership has become the new core of leadership. Leaders who understand their own emotions, limits, reactions, and energy levels are better equipped to create psychological safety, handle conflict constructively, set the clear priority, and support their own teams through uncertainty. When leaders model these behaviors, the whole organization obviously benefits. Here are listed a few of the skills. Firstly, psychological safety, the foundation for trust, collaboration, and honest dialogue. Resilience without burnout, the ability to handle pressure without compromising your own well-being. Adaptability in constant change, staying effective when things are ambitious or shifting. Emotional regulation and awareness, staying calm being clear and constructive under pressure, focused, prioritization, and managing cognitive load. This is essential to prevent overload or poor decisions. Constructive conflict and navigation, turning tension into progress, not avoidance. Feedback as a shared practice, a culture where learning flows both ways. Relationship intelligence, understanding people, not just tasks. Self-leadership and boundaries, knowing yourself, managing energy, and setting healthy limits. And then the last one, learning agility, the ability to try, adapt, and improve quickly. As it states here, these are not personality traits. These are mental skills, skills that can be developed, strengthened, and scaled across the organization. And when leaders model these, the teams will follow. And this is where us Auntie support comes very tangible. Many organizations use our service anonymously, preventatively, with the core of mental health support, even globally, to strengthen their mental skills and thrive sustainable business. Auntie is scalable, measurable, and easy to adopt. And across our over 8,000 annual users, we can see the improvements in resilience, performance, motivation, and clear reduction in sick leaves and even burnouts, as it is stated here. These impact numbers show that building mental skills isn't just good for people, it's strategic advantage for the whole organization. Thank you on my behalf. Before letting Elina to the stage, let's have our first poll questionnaire. I will put it on. Hopefully it is showing. What are the key mental skills for a changing work life? You can choose top 3. And let's see what are the top ones you choose. You have 1 minute to answer. And the options are stress management, emotional regulation, resilience, focus and prioritization, self-awareness, communication skills, adaptability, problem-solving skills, setting boundaries, and self-leadership. And at the moment, resilience and self-leadership is the top ones. And then focus and prioritization is the third one, I think, and adaptability is high as well. Okay, so I think we have the results. I will share it with you. So the top one was resilience with 60% of the votes. Then 49% is the self-leadership. And the third one is quite tied with adaptability and focus and prioritization. But interesting, definitely. And hopefully, Elina, you can take something with this to your speech as well. But that's on my behalf. I will pop in the end as well. But Elina, you can come to the stage and.
Hello again. I will actually take my presentation here. Yes, and now can you see my presentation? Because I can't see anything now.
I can hop back and tell you it's visible.
It's visible. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, hey, nice to see you so much. My name is Elina Hiltunen, and I'm going to talk about future of work. What skills will we need in the future, and how will working life change? a little bit about my background, because some people are asking that how do you become a futurist? What is the secret? Is there some sorcery school that you study? Well, yes and no. I am, by my education, I'm Doctor of Economics and Master of Science in Chemical Engineering. And actually last week I had a very nice opportunity to defend my second PhD thesis on future of war and using science fiction. I did it in National Defense University. I'm also a writer. I have written 15 books, and I'm a speaker and columnist and entrepreneur, and I do practically whatever is paid for me. Well, not everything at this age, but something like that. Here are some of my books, and some of them have been translated to English. And maybe one of the things that were discussed here before was the mental skills and burnout. And one of my books is actually about depression. So how to survive from depression. So in my opinion, that is very important thing when it comes to the future of work. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. But I will start to talk that what is the future of work, what is going to happen there. One of the things that I'm very sure is that work is changing. It has always changed. This is a picture of Western woman working in some assembly line in factory, and practically this is a picture from history. We don't see this very much now. Robots are doing this, and then these things have been outsourced to some countries with a cheaper labor force. So it really the work has changed. We are doing something else now. And one of the drivers of change of work is, of course, technology. And technology has always changed how we are doing work. And if we think about some occupations that we don't have anymore because of the technology. So one is these street lighters. There is no people anymore and going to light a street light lamp by lamp. There, it works with a computer switch, if you could say that. This guy has stick in his hand, and he's close to windows in this building, and that comes to this resembles another job that we don't have anymore, and it was a person who was waking people up for factory work. And this is actually he or she was clicking or knocking the windows of the houses with a stick to wake people up. And that was before we had any alarm bells, so alarm clocks. So you should go to work at a certain time, and then there's some person who is waking you up. And this, again, we don't have anymore. We don't have any more switchboard operators. I think that could have been quite interesting job. You would hear so many rumors there. I would like that, but no, not anymore. We don't have this kind of job. We have another jobs, but these are part of the history. Technology have changed these jobs and made them old-fashioned. We don't need these jobs anymore. But sorry to say, it's not only the technology that is taking some of the jobs away. It's also the changes in the society that are changing how we are working. And well, it's bad and it's good in a way, especially when we think about this occupation, executioners. These were some of the people that actually happened to work here also in Finland until 1800. it's the beginning of 1800, they did their last work there. And of course, this wasn't very popular occupation, and it was usually people who had two choices. You would be executed by yourself, or you become an executioner, and that was their choice usually. Well, because of social changes, we don't have this occupation anymore. These are just some of the examples how the work has changed, and in the future it will definitely change. But how will it change? It's usually when you have a futurist, you have high hopes that finally somebody is coming to us and telling that what is happening in the future, what is the future of work. I'm waiting for you to tell us. And then I have to give you a little bit disappointment, because the truth is that I can't predict the future. I don't know what is the work going to be like in the future. But don't go away yet. I have some ideas, and I'm going to talk about these ideas. But the biggest thing here, I'm being honest, it's that no one can predict the future. Actually, how futurists think is that you have to anticipate the future. You have to look at the facts. Facts are things that are happening today or have happened in the history. You don't have facts about the future. You have wild guesses about the future. So you have to look at the facts, what is happening today, and then the next thing is to use your imagination. So that is how you get to the how could the work in the future be like. And the imagination is like, what if? That's a good question for getting your imagination going. What if this and this? How could these affect to the future of work? And this is what I'm doing now in my presentation. So I'm like asking questions, and I'm lifting these facts that what is happening now and how could this affect to the future of work. My favorite facts are megatrends. And megatrends are big global changes. They are long-term. They have been there for years, tens of years, or even hundreds of years. And because they are so big, affecting all over the globe, so they will have some effect in the future. But the thing is that, of course, they don't remain the same. They are changing. But still, I think that this is very good basis when you start to look at whatever thing in the future, like future of work, you should go to megatrends. Think about that. What is happening now in the world? How is these trends changing, and how are these affecting to the work? And I have a list of 10 megatrends. And actually, I just my second book of megatrends with some infographics of what are the trends happening behind these names like climate change, eco crisis, and so on. But these are the first 5 megatrends that I have: climate change and eco crisis and depletion of resources. And I think that these 2 megatrends are going to be big issues in the future. They are affecting our life, which of course includes our work. What work will we do, and how do we do the work, and what kind of work is needed more than the other type of work? And so these are big drivers there. Then we have certain megatrends like population growth, change in population structure, urbanization. These were the first 5. Globalization, growth in wealth and consumption, increase in inequality, digitalization, and technological development. So these are 10 megatrends that are definitely changing the future of work and affecting the future of work. It's like you would have the, how do you say this, eyeglasses, and you're looking at the future with these eyeglasses, and you would have the megatrends in these eyeglasses, and you look at how is the work in the future, look through the eyeglasses where we have the megatrends. And here is some example what I mean by this. For example, if we take climate change, it has some effects. it has effects like heat waves are increasing. We have more heat waves, and then how it's going to affect? It's going to affect that work efficiency is decreasing. And there are already studies that like how much your work efficiency is decreasing when the temperature is rising 1 or 2 or 3 degrees in the hot summer day. Sick leaves are increasing. So this is one example what could happen in the future of work when we think about this megatrend. There's another line of events. So for example, crops are declining, and this means that there are parts of the world that have food shortages. This can cause wars, but definitely people are going to some places where they have food. This is quite normal, which means that climate refugees, the number of them can be increasing. We could have more workforce, or then one other effect that climate change could have for the work for the future is that we are having more extreme weather events. The number of storm damages is increasing, and then we would need more rescue workers. So these are some examples of how these megatrends could affect the future of work. So by saying this, now I will shed light of my thinking of how the work in the future could change in the light of these megatrends. And of course, I will start with the eco crisis and climate change. And this, I think, will be biggest priority for the organization. All these environmental aspects, and circular economy is one of the tools. There are many other tools, but this is one of the tools. And this means that actually when we think about the skills for the future of the work, these skills related to working more economically, ecologically, and economically, of course, too, but also understanding the climate change and what should we do, and what is bad for the environment, what is good for the environment. So this basic knowledge, I think, is very important for every organization. As I said, eco crisis will have devastating effects to our environment. So this is, of course, causing additional work for some people. And then this is also causing financial losses. And there are already studies saying that already now we have the GDP growth has been less because of the what is happening in the environment. It's costing very much that we have to repair stuff and be ready for whatever ecological crisis is happening there. So this is one of the big impacts for the future work and economy. Economy and work, they are related, because usually when people work, they want to have some money, and money is related to economy. So keeping this very, very simple. As you can see, I'm a doctor of economics. Well, anyway, the next thing is that, of course, this crisis, climate change, it brings new opportunities. And this is something that I've been always emphasizing. We have big problems in the world, but also we need people to solve them. And if we think about green transition, it definitely needs new workers. There is actually discussion of white collar workers, blue collar workers, but the newest one that I have heard is green collar workers, and they are the people working on the issues like green transition. And this is something that I see that there will be more opportunities in the future. Well, labor shortage is something that is discussed. And this is actually something that I had previous lecture in the morning. I'm now in monastery, in Valamo Monastery, and here is another event, and I had a discussion about this, what is happening, because this is about big megatrends, what is happening with the population. And we will have labor shortage in Europe. And already we are having some trouble, for example, here in Finland, to get skilled labor. And there was a study made last year, and with companies, and almost half of the companies said that they have problem of getting the skilled labor. And now the economic situation here in Finland is very bad. And this was last year, and it was also bad. But in the good times, of course, these numbers are going to rise, so there will be more shortage of the skilled labor. And if you look at what is happening with the demographic facts, so this is the very big problem. Europe is getting older. This is from Eurostat, these two pictures, and it shows that here is the share of population less than 15 years has been decreasing. You can see clear decreasing trend here. And then what is happening here is population age 65 to 78 is increasing. And this definitely means that the population is getting older, and this brings big challenges. And this is happening in Europe, this is happening in Finland, for example. And there are some examples of Finnish statistics that there has been some estimates that will Finnish population start to decrease in 2034, or will it grow in the future? But as you can see, what is the solution for growing Finnish population? It's the immigration, and that is something that is actually needed here. And there is in Finland we have certain political atmosphere now, so which is not very happy about foreign workers, but this is something that we not only in Finland, but this is Northern Europe and Europe. So we have challenge of population getting older, and we are having less and less workers in the future. Population is getting old, as I said. In 2050, it's approximately 30% of Finns are over 65 years old, and this is not only meaning that there are people less in the workforce, but this is also meaning that these people probably need some more services like healthcare services, because it's usually increasing the need for healthcare services. And again, where are the people taking care of the older people here in Finland? So these are the big challenges. Again, one statistic more. There is what is called self-sufficiency forecast of Finnish population. And this means that what could Finland be in 2050 or 2030 if nobody is moving to Finland or nobody is moving out of Finland? So it's only Finns here. And the future wouldn't be quite shiny or sunny then, because in 2050 there would be 630,000 people that are at working age, so less than there are now. So these are the cold numbers, what is happening here. So it definitely means that what can we do to have the people coming to work to Finland and to Europe, to our countries, wherever you are now, and how to not only to ask them to come, but you have to keep them. You have to make the circumstances in such a way that they are staying in your country when they have learned the language and they have their occupation and education. So these people, it's very expensive to let them go to somewhere else, because we are needing the population. And again, the extra people here to work. Again, this is some of the statistics. In European Union, the population in 2024 was about 450 million. And this is the whole population, all the old people, all the young people, and so on. And then when you compare to Africa, in 2020, Africa is a continent that is definitely going to grow in the future. There's a huge potential of population growth in Africa. So they have people under 34 years old, about 1 billion in 2020. And also India is one, it's currently the biggest country measured by population. And they have approximately young people like 600 million. So this is again, they have more young people that we in Europe have people all together. So this is really a big thing, and it's really good to understand when we there's discussion in Finland that we want the qualified workforce from abroad to work in Finland. Yes, here, please come. This is Finland here. But then again, saying that there are many other countries that are also competing, also want to have the most qualified foreign people come to work for them, because they also lack the future young people and future workforce. They have the same problem that we have. So this is a big thing. Also, when we globalization, the workforce is definitely becoming more global. But then it's also very important to understand that we are more and more working in companies. McDonald's, Google, H&M, Lidl, Tata, Microsoft. These are companies you can find from Finland too. And people are working there. And of course, if you are an Indian company or if you are a Finnish company, you probably have different ways of dealing certain issues. Company culture is different kind. And then also one challenge is that we don't necessarily even know who owns the company. Here are some, these were surprises for me. So for example, brand called Volvo, it's owned by Chinese company. Pirelli tires owned by Chinese company. London Heathrow Airport is owned by Qatar Investment Authority, one of the owners. So you go to London Heathrow Airport, so well, at least I didn't think that it's probably owned by Qatar. And Jaguar is Indian company, Tata is owning that. So this is what globalization is looking. You don't even see, and this is also posing a challenge to workers that what are the values, for example, behind? Why should you work like this? What are the values? And there might be even discussion of that if I'm working in a certain company and they have certain type of values, do I want to work like that? Is it against my moral beliefs to work like that? So I think that we are having more conflicts in the future when it comes to this. And this has we have already seen this happening. For example, if we think about Trump and, for example, Helsinki University, Trump government administration have said some things that, for example, climate change, it doesn't exist. And these, if they are having some scholarships, giving some scholarships, you shouldn't talk about climate change. And these are, again, things that we and people and workers are really have to deal with in the future. Are you working in a company that have your values? And if you are not, do you want to work against your values? One thing when we talk about foreign workers is this very nice example, what I like. IKEA is working with refugees and Finnish Refugee Aid. I have been working as a volunteer in this Finnish Refugee Aid, and they are helping refugees to get jobs. And IKEA is co-working with the Finnish refugee aid, and they are doing this also in other countries. So they are having they are giving some workplace for refugees for some time, and if they are okay, everybody is okay with that, so then they can work there. And I think that this is actually something that, as I said, that Europe, we are competing with all the foreign workers in the future. So when you open the gate, open the corporate idea of getting people that are not like similar looking, that you are talking different languages and so on. So this is very important that you are a pioneer in that. And I think that this should have happened more here in Finland already, but there are not many companies that have these kind of programs that we are going to take refugees to our company. So I think that this is very good and important. Okay, as the world is changing and work is changing, education is definitely a key part of the career. So when you graduate from the university or whatever the school is, you have it's sure that it's something that you have to. It's not the end of your education there. I truly hope, because you have to educate and re-educate yourself all the time. The world is changing at that fast, so you have to educate yourself. This is World Economic Forum. They are saying that changes in the global trends like technology, economics, demographics, and the green transition mentioned here will lead to 170 million new jobs, which is very, very nice. But again, then there will be 92 million jobs that will be lost. And to get from lost jobs to get here, it needs that we need to educate people and re-educate people. And it's very good to realize that education, it has many paths how to do it. And this is an example from a Finnish media saying that there was one guy who was watching YouTube videos of how to do this kind of handicraft stuff, and he learned to do that, and now he is having a company at selling these products. So he was educated by YouTube videos, and if you have used Duolingo, this is one way to educate yourself. You can have these mock courses online and so on. So there are many ways to educate yourself. And now, for example, when we have very good translation artificial intelligence programs, so I could go, for example, Chinese university and learn or teach myself or learn in Chinese, because I could use the translator. Okay, then one very important thing, is the mental and physical well-being of employers. And this, I think, will be a big thing in the future. As I said, we are having challenges that do we have enough workers in the future? And if we have the worker, so we have to take care of him or her very well. And this is very big challenge for the leadership, for example, because one of the things nowadays is, this is some top 3 reasons why people got retired in Finland in the year 2020 and 24. And here, as you can see, this is like problem with your body, and this is problem with your mental health. So it's very big amount of people that have problem with their mental health. It has a little bit decreased here, but if we look at, for example, what is happening with the young people, I will actually show this. So you can see that young people, the biggest reason for them to get retired or disability pension is that because of mental health problems. And so this is very big challenge in the future. And European Union is talking about silent problem. I really think it's funny to say silent problem, because it's not definitely silent. If you look at the numbers here, 20% of adolescents experience mental health problem, every fifth person, and that is called silent problem. And it's said, this is from European Union, European Commission web pages, say that adolescents today experience poorer mental health and well-being than previous generations. And the worst situation is 15-year-old girls. 15-year-old girls, you know, they should be enjoying life and getting to universities or some other schools and then to the work life. But if they are already feeling bad in 15 years old, so this is it's very bad, of course, personal tragedy and tragedy for the whole family, but it's also, when we think about future of workforce, it doesn't look very good. 50% of young Europeans reported unmet needs when it comes to their mental health, and 59% of people aged between 16 and 24 have had an emotional or psychosocial problem, like depressed or anxious, in previous 12 months. These numbers are horrible. These are absolutely horrible. And it means that in the future, this is something that is very important to focus on meaningfulness of the work and the leadership, especially. There is a saying that less meaningfulness and compatibility at work challenge young people's well-being at work. So in the other way, saying that if you have work that you love being in the work, so you'd probably stay there long and you probably don't have so much anxiety or depression. This is actually, it's not complex at all. It's very, be kind to your co-workers so they feel better. And in a way, it's funny that you even have to say that aloud. Anyway, so mental health issues are already big thing, and in the future, if nothing or too little is done, it's going to be a big challenge for the society and for these individual people. One other thing is, because we have the demographic change, we will have more older people at the workplace. And this is my father. He is 89 years old and he's an engineer, he's an entrepreneur himself, and he is doing some calculation for houses. I actually never understood what he is doing there, but we took the picture. He's not usually using computer, he's using pen and this paper, but this is like fake pictures in that sense. But I asked my father that, why do you do that? You're like quite old. Now I can say that he's quite old. And he said that this is giving some meaning for my life. And there are different reasons why older people are working, and one of them is that it gives you meaning for your life. One is, of course, that you don't have enough money and you have to work even though you are retired. But Japan is one good example to check this possibility. What could it mean? Because in Japan, there are many people who are working at their senior age. 1 in 4 elderly over 65 years old individual is still working in Japan, and one in 7 worker is over 65 years. And this is very Japanese thing, but this is would happen here in Europe, as we are on the path to Japan. The population is aging and so on. Well, then there's one solution to that, what to do. So of course, robotics and digitalization will be part of the work life. So this is happening, it's already happening here. And we see robots, for example, cleaning robots in shopping malls, and this is very typical already. Then one of the things is, this is what is called cobot. It's like a robot and human being are working together. So this could be one thing in the future, and it is already happening now. And then will we have humanoid robots in the future? This is a video from Japan. I was in Tokyo in Henna Hotel, and this Henna Hotel didn't have any people working, any real people working there. They only had androids. What I really like is that this android lady robot, she has a handbag behind her. I don't know what she's carrying there, maybe a screwdriver or something. But anyway, this is happening already today. So when we think about future in 20 years, could this be something that in our workplace we are working with these humanoid robots? Or this is remote controlled robot. So if we don't have workers here, could we have all the people in Africa or India, where they do have plenty of people, there are plenty of young people who actually don't have work there because there are so many people there. There's 20% are what is called need young, so no work, not work in education. So could they work with this remote robotics to us? So they would be in other continent, and then they have virtual classes, and they are moving the robot, and the robot is doing the work there. Then, of course, artificial intelligence, big data, predictive algorithms, they are buzzwords, especially artificial intelligence. And no wonder artificial intelligence have been there since 1950s, but now it's the generative artificial intelligence, which is all the chatbots and so on, and they will be our tools. They are already our tools now. They will be more our tools in the future. And then there are some predictions of what will happen when you use artificial intelligence. So EMF, International Monetary Foundation, is saying that it will affect almost 40% of the jobs worldwide, and then Goldman Sachs is saying that about 2/3 of the jobs in the United States are at risk at some degree to the automation. And I wonder where the Microsoft, this I like very much. In the future, every employee will be the boss of an artificial intelligent agent. And this is Microsoft vision for the future. And this is something I would agree that already doing things with artificial intelligence, it's amazing what it can do. And it's actually quite scary what it can do. And now we are starting to live going to the using artificial intelligent agent, which means, for example, that when you are shopping, for example, I would be shopping a holiday trip for myself. I wouldn't do the shopping myself. I just give a task to my AI agent. Please go and find me the best holiday trip to this and this destination, and it will search internet, make the booking for me, get me the tickets, and add it to my calendar. And in the future, when we think about companies are not probably dealing with real human customers. They are dealing with artificial intelligence customers. So this could be one of the future. Microsoft has some list that to what occupations artificial intelligence or generative artificial intelligence is affecting and what's not. And usually it's like when you have the white collar job, it's affecting to you. If you're doing it by your hands, it's usually not affecting to you so much. You can't make, for example, ChatGPT to take blood sample from you. So But in the further way in the future, it's then the humanoid robots that are doing this part of the job. Here are some examples how I'm using artificial intelligence tools. For example, language translation. This is DeepL. It's a very good tool. It's like Google Translate with the steroids. I like it. And then here's an example of me using ChatGPT. What I've been doing is what is called like prompt coding. I don't know how to code, but I'm giving orders to ChatGPT that could you make me this and this kind of program that I could put it to my web pages, and it's doing that. So the idea here is that in the future, it's artificial intelligence is the supporting intelligence, and I really hope that it's not going to take our intelligence away, because it's far away from perfect. One of my lecture topics is that what are the pros and cons of artificial intelligence. Now I'm talking about work, and so that would be our AI assistant or agent that we are using. For example, doctors are using artificial intelligence to look at the X-ray pictures and to find some challenge problems there. And already like 5 years ago, it was like better than normal doctors. But of course, you would need the normal doctors there to do this detection and decisions. Okay, so this is said that artificial intelligence doesn't take your jobs as such, but people who know how to use artificial tools, they will definitely take. I'm not sure about if they're not taking the jobs. They are definitely taking some of the jobs away. But then we need also new kind of task for somebody to do it. So there probably will be some other jobs there. But anyway, what would be my advice is that get to familiarize yourself with the AI tools, how you can use them, and when, especially when not to use them, in what cases not to use them. About the future, of course, technology is going to surprise us. My thesis, doctoral thesis at National Defense University was about science fiction, and of course, I'm a science fiction writer myself too. So I think that, again, for example, virtual reality, synthetic biology, quantum computers, they are something that are definitely, again, change the work. I'm sorry, the work, but you are not going to be the same in the future as you haven't been the same in the history too. It's going to change, and technology definitely will change it. And for example, in the future, we could have food genetic engineer thinking of how to make new food by using gene scissors, which is called like gene editing. And we could have these cloud cops and watching the what is happening in the movement there, or what people are doing there. And of course, we have already some police that are focused on virtual crimes, but what could be a cloud cop be like? Then I have one video of what do I think about that, what kind of skill we would need in the future after all this, and I will show the video you now. It's going to take some couple of minutes. Still, at the time of artificial intelligence, that we can ask practically anything, we need our own skills, how to retrieve information and to have mediatism, to how to know what is truth and what is not truth. Artificial intelligence is hallucinating, and it will hallucinate, give false facts in the future. Empathy, I think, is something that we need. Human to human. And as I said about mental problems, so if you don't have empathy at all, so this is causing a big problem there. Stress management and pressure control, of course, this is very important. I think that creativity is going to be more important in the future, and there will be new tools for creativity. And for example, I'm using very much artificial intelligence and like playing with artificial intelligence to get more creative. Problem solving is something that we will need now and we will need in the future. We will need to learn new things, and then of course unlearn the things that we don't need anymore. Environmental skills are going to be a big thing in the future. Everybody don't have to be like environmental engineer, but you have to know the basics. Cultural knowledge, we work in the multicultural organizations, and I didn't put the language skills because you have the tools. Of course, every extra language is very good for you, but you can't learn them all. Then you have to have these digital and cybersecurity skills, because at the time of artificial intelligence, for example, cyber attacks, they are in a new dimension. So you have to know what to do and what not to do when you have, for example, these deepfake crimes. Presentation and communication skills. These are something that are not valued in Finland. I would say that they are not taught to people enough, and they should be. Of course, flexibility, adaptability are needed. And well, if you are going to work in the future, it's very good to look at the future and have a little bit like idea what is happening there. So I'm talking about anticipation skills. But idea here is anticipate the future and think about what are big trends, how they could affect to the future. But it's also very important that you are prepared to do the future yourself. I'm sorry to say it, the world is changing, but you are responsible for your skills for the future. You have to do it yourself. Okay, so that was my presentation here, and this is my actually newest book about 10 megatrends, and it's in infographic form, so it's like picture book for adults. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Elina, so much. Such an inspirational speech, and a lot of also discussion about the future of our work, and also kind of the challenges that we will run into the future. I have a few questions, at least one that we can answer, or you can, Elina, answer. Let me share it with here. I think this was interesting. The robots are being taught emotion and reacting to them appropriately. How about us humans? Do you think compassion, leadership, and organizational culture fostered and taught at schools and in higher education would ease the mental ill-being?
That's actually very good. That's the first time actually I hear it said by that, because compared to robots, it's usually people think that robots they are inhuman and they are cold and something. And sometimes I think that it might be that the human beings are cold and nasty, not the robots are. But yeah, when looking at what is happening in social media, and it's awful, the language, and awful what is happening there. And I really hope that something would happen there. I don't know, in the education, in the social media platforms, that they would be more restrictive what you can put there. But I think it's very important to understand that even the language is harsh when you go to the social media. You don't survive with that kind of language when you are talking at your workplace or face to face. So this is this is really something. I think that you are quite fast to get out of the workplace. The first one to get out of the workplace if the language is like that. But I think that anyway, these basic skills like how to be polite, how to understand people's feelings and of course your feelings, and it's more this emotional understanding. Finland is very like engineering driven country, and sometimes this emotional part is forgotten, and I think that is very important for people to learn, even from young kiddies at school, and to the old people at work, older people, adults at the workplace too.
Definitely. I do believe at least my 3-year-old is learning these skills at daycare every
Yeah.
day. So I think like we have a bright future in that sense.
Yeah.
But we're running out of time. It's 4 o'clock in Finland at least. But huge thank you to you, Elina, and we will send you the recording afterwards.
Yes. Thank you very much. And have a
Thank
nice
you.
Christmas time waiting there. And
Yeah,
future.
definitely.
Okay. So bye.
Bye.